beer nerd, but I'd never homebrewed, and I said, well, what am I doing? I had to try it out, and Lisa, my partner, really pushed me to get a kit. She bought me a kit, and I remember diving into that, how nervous I was, but it just became a passion immediately. And I was in finance at the time, and very soon I quit that to bartend at a local brewery. And when we moved to Asheville, it just made sense that I got a job in the industry, bartending. It was definitely the creative outlet I received through brewing that really turned me onto it, that really piqued my passions. I wasn't getting that, obviously, through finance and the cubicle life, and so I was able to tweak recipes and work hands-on with ingredients, whether it be hops or fruit or the different malts, and it just exploded for me, and I was literally dreaming about it all the time, and brewing it just fulfilled me, and so it's been a passion ever since.
I've been rescuing kind of dogs and cats for quite a while. Before we officially had the sanctuary, we were doing a lot of fostering. And then I kind of fell in love with farm animals based on our goat Shadow, who I was really bonded with. And then after visiting other sanctuaries, got to know turkeys and got to know pigs, and it just kind of grew organically. There really is no separation between a dog and a cat and a pig and a chicken and a cow. They're all sentient, loving animals with unique character traits and personalities and friends and enemies. We're just very conditioned to not see those things. And so once my eyes were open to that, it really just kind of changed my life and my priorities. The Sweet Beer Rescue Farm and Sanctuary Brewing Company came to be out of a conversation had in this house where Joe and I were talking one day and said something to the effect of, wouldn't it be cool if we could open a brewery and then use the funds from the brewery and start an animal sanctuary? And literally, in that moment, we were like, oh, that's the whole idea right there. Let's open a brewery based on animal advocacy. And so the very next day, we copyrighted the name Sanctuary Brewing Company. And I kind of thought, hi buddy, that it would take 3 or 4 years for us to get to the point where we could get an animal sanctuary going, but actually pulled it off in 2 years. The brewery pays the mortgage here and some of the utilities, and then the rest is donations. So medical, bedding, food, the structures that you see, that all comes from fundraising. So either private donations, or sometimes we'll put events on here or at the brewery. The very logical next step was to start serving people food and changing hearts and minds about what vegan food actually is. So we opened Inconceivable Cafe, which is an all-vegan restaurant inside of the confines of Sanctuary Brewing. It is not health food. That's the biggest misconception. We're doing bar food that's like decadent and that just happens to be vegan. So fried cheese, cheeseburgers, pretzel bites, lots of queso, things like that. People that don't normally go out and get like a Beyond Burger, I think they're really kind of having their minds blown right now by how awesome vegan food can be. We're living it every day at the brewery and also here at the farm.
I feel like brewing, for me, is a huge part of my identity. The creativity part of it is a huge part of my identity. I feel like we're always trying to do new, interesting, and fun things. We have flagships. We've got 4 or 5 beers up there that are always on. But then there's another 10 behind that it may be only the 2nd, 3rd, 4th time that they're being brewed, or they're seasonal, or they just never may come back. We're always, pushing the envelope with, or trying to anyways. New flavors, new combinations. And I think that's what brings people in. A lot of people, they want new, fun, exciting experimentation. And I love doing it too. It's what keeps me hot. It's what keeps me entertained after doing it day in and day out. We're only brewing at 110 gallons. We have a little 3-barrel system, so it is kind of its own test kitchen. And so that's also a really fun part of this. Even if it doesn't turn out exactly how you'd wanted it, it's still probably gonna sell, and then you can tweak the recipe and then come right back at it again and try it again in a month or two. You're always excited, oh, this brand new hop we've got access to. This crazy fruit just came out and someone just called us with 100 pounds. And so we're working with a tamarind that I'm working with for the first time. We're gonna add tamarind today actually, which is really cool. We just did a beer with butterfly pea flower, which turns the beer blue and adds a different texture and flavor. In addition to fruits and vegetables, there's also great malt being produced within 500 miles of here. There's two malts, there's Carolina Malt House and Riverbend Malt House that we use. And we try to use local hops sometimes. The local hop scene is not as good as it could be, as it is in northern latitudes. But it is present, and you can get some decent local hops, and we've used them every year. And then obviously fruits and vegetables. Right now we've got a raspberry on, we've got watermelons, we've got melons, we do cucumbers, blackberries, we use beets. We did a golden beet beer we have on draft right now that's delicious. Peaches, obviously, because we're right next to Georgia and South Carolina. Local peaches coming up. Obviously we're in apple country. Every year we do an apple beer for Apple Festival. And so we try and keep it as local as possible. And I think people embrace that, they see that, and they love it. It's a family environment. Everybody comes in, it's laid back, it's that third space. You have work, home, and then a lot of times for a lot of people, it was coffee shops and now it's breweries. It's the taproom culture, I feel like. I like to say it's 8 to 80, and a lot of times it's 8-month-olds to 80-year-olds because people are coming in and they're working on their computers, they're relaxing with family, they're listening to music, they're playing board games, they're playing cards, they're just having, life experience in that brewery space. And we've tried to do that, make it a comfortable, warm, welcome atmosphere. And so I think it's kind of revolutionized, to some extent, a culture for a lot of people and just life. And then the beers become elevated because of that.